Austraeoh by Imploding Colon, read by Deathlight. Chapter 44, Rainbow. The tunnel was dimmer than the rest of the cavern. As the walls closed in, the line of the hanging lanterns stopped, and Rainbow found herself trotting into the pitch black. There's nothing to see beyond a few feet of distance, and yet she felt as if she was being drawn forward. Her hooves tingled with each shuffling step. Her ears twitched as if listening for a dim, otherworldly hum to start ringing in the distance. Undaunted by the shadows, Rainbow raised a hoof to her pendant and mumbled a few words. A dim glow emanated from the ruby lightning bolt, casting a crimson aura across the claustrophobic rock walls before her. The surfaces were pale, like polished granite, and they rolled and spun like frozen waves over the inside of a nautilus shell. Rainbow found herself weaving left, then right, as she traveled through the length of the bizarre corridor. There was something curiously enticing about the trick, no matter how ominous it should have felt. She couldn't shake the sensation that the trip was perfectly normal, almost like flying east. At last, she came upon the opening. What she saw froze in her tracks. The winding corridor came to an abruptly flat stop. A perfect wall of ebony white stone stood before her. It was a sharp contrast to the dark, grimy, sustained mines that she had taken to get there. The air was terribly thin there. Rainbow felt a sudden chill as she heard a lonesome breath dancing off the polished rock. If someone had told her that this was the darkest, most secret heart of the world, she somehow wouldn't doubt it. Slowly, she marched past the overturned bits of mining equipment and wooden carts in order to approach the flat wall. A crimson spotlight from her pendant tightened on a stretch of the immaculate barricade. Her eyes swam across the surface. At first, she didn't understand the point, for there was no blemish to be seen among the body of the stone. Then, upon a third examination, Rainbow saw something. An image etched into the granite. She could have sworn that she scanned that part of the rock already. And yet, there before her hung an emblem as plain as day. A very simplistic formation, illustrated seemingly in two parts. The left side was an omega symbol. On the right side was a sphere, partly transposed over the left image. Howbeit, bordering the circle on the right, of where it intersected to the left symbol, was a sporadic series of squiggly lines. Rainbow was oblivious to the meaning of the dual characters, but a part of her shuddered at the implications of the right symbol's borders. Are those solar bands? She murmured aloud. Never would Rainbow have predicted that she'd been so enthralled by such seemingly random lines. Perhaps it wasn't so much that she was enthralled, but some essence of her soul was obligated to peer closely at the shapes. As a matter of fact, the longer she looked at the character on the left, the less it looked like an omega symbol, and the more it started resembling a hoof print. Without realizing it, her left forelimb was rising up to that particular spot of the polished stone. The closer it got, a bright pulse of ruby light emanated from her pendant, and she could have sworn she saw a hint of lavender color at the edge of her vision. Gasping, Rainbow stumbled back. She felt her heart beating, as if coming down from the crest of performing a sonic rainboom. There were very few moments in her life that Rainbow could have counted being legitimately frightened by something, and ever since her journey east, she had counted fear as the most fearless emotion of all. And yet, she couldn't contain her thunderous pulse just then. A shiver ran through her body, and she was gazing too hard at the pale wall to even register the aura of lamplight coming up from behind her. It's quite fascinating, isn't it? An elder voice said. Rainbow spun around.